Hello race fans, welcome to Eagle Raceway. We're just east of Lincoln, Nebraska. We got 5 nights of racing. It's us, the All-Stars versus the NCRA. It's Thunder Through the Plains. This is the 4th or 5th year, I would have to say the 4th year that we're doing this. Last year we got rained out. We did race here earlier in the year. Gary Wright won. We got about 40 cars in the pits. I'm just thinking about who we're going to talk to. You'll find out. The driver of the 00, Jason Statler. Welcome to Eagle, buddy.
Yeah, it's good to be here.
We were kind of fortunate. You were in for the Nationals, and you're going to hook up with us and run a couple of these shows before you go home?
Yeah, we came back here for the Nationals, and we figured while we're here, we might as well run a week with the All-Stars and get a little more track time and some more experience.
Where do you normally run?
We were going with NARC out in California.
Looks like you're beating up a little bit.
It's a little hot here.
Well, we got a full field of cars. How do you think you're going to do, bud?
I don't know. We've never been here. Most of these guys have run here a few times before, so we're just going to go out and take it as it comes and hopefully do the best we can.
Alrighty. Well, he's going to go and get himself a cold drink, and it's about time to get some heat in the engines. Thanks a lot, Jason.
All right, thanks.
Current point leader with the All-Stars, the driver of the 94, Kenny Jacobs. The All-Stars were off, but there were a couple big shows. This guy was pretty busy. How'd you make out?
Well, I'd say we didn't make out as well as we expected, but we did okay. We ran 4th at Eldor and we ran 10th at Knoxville. We put ourselves in position to win both of them. We just didn't do it, you know. But we had a good race car. The J&J Kreiner engine car was a good race car, and all the guys working on it, Barry and Anthony and Todd, they all did a great job. We just weren't fast enough on the final race. So all in all, it was a good 2 weeks for us, really.
Plus TV exposure didn't hurt.
Well, the TV exposure was okay, but we got most of that when we crashed at Knoxville, which wasn't real good exposure, but sometimes things happen.
How about this Thunder Through the Plains deal?
Well, I think it's a lot of fun, and it's good racing. Every track that we go to is pretty neat to race on, and the competition's pretty good. The NCRA has 2 or 3 cars that are real fast, and I see some California guys here tonight, so this week's going to be very competitive, and we'll have to be around top of things if we're going to win some of them.
It's awfully hot. Does that affect you?
Well, I know you're more tired at the end of the night and probably lose 4 or 5 pounds, so I don't think it affects me too much mentally. I like to sweat a little bit, so it doesn't bother me too much. Some guys, I think it really kills them, so I hope the good guys are here tonight. I hope it kills them, so the competition won't be as tough as I think. But the guys that are real competitors, they won't even know they're hot.
Alrighty, well, thanks a lot and good luck. We got a long week.
All right, thanks a lot.
Good deal.
All right, I'm standing in the pits with, once again, the current NCRA point leader, Gary Wright. Not a bad year for you, Gary.
It's been a pretty good year. We've been on a good run here lately, and hopefully it'll continue.
How many wins do you have with the NCRA?
This year they've run 10 races. We have 9 wins, so it's been a good year with them.
And I know for a fact you got a couple wins with us, too.
Yeah, actually, it's just been, I think we've won like 23 out of the last 38 races, so, you know, we've been on a really good roll.
What do you think about this track, Eagle?
We've always run good here. I've never won a race, but we generally run the first 3 or 4 here, so maybe tonight will get our first win here.
How important is it for you and your sponsors to do good during this week?
Well, you know, really I don't have any sponsors. The only ones I had were just the ones for Knoxville Nationals. So, you know, we're still looking for sponsors, but, you know, we've had an awful good year, and if we continue to run, maybe next year we'll get a sponsor.
Well, we'll try and get you some good exposure. Maybe we'll get some big name to put on the side of the wing. How about it?
Our average might pick up if we did have a sponsor, so we'd like that.
All right, we'll try and help you out, and hopefully you have a good week. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
The driver, the Denny Ashworth 92, Dean Jacobs. You won here last time.
Yeah, this was a really neat place the last time, but we got rained out here last year, and we got to come back earlier this year, and it was sticky and really fast, and it was a lot of fun. We come out on top. It looks like it's going to be a little different tonight. It's going to be pretty slick, it looks like, but I'm sure it'll still be fun.
It's awfully hot here today. It was a little hot in Knoxville for you.
Yeah, it was really hot. We had another one of them nights, you know, we bent another wing, and that ain't good when that happens, but you know, it just was really tough Wednesday when we qualified and got us back into C main, and you put ourselves in a hole there, and we just ran into a little more trouble as the week went on. So we'll just go here tonight and try and make up for it.
What about this Thunder Through the Plains deal?
Oh, it's always a lot of fun. We always look forward to it. You know, get to hang out with the guys, hang out with you guys, go have a good time, play golf and race, and that's what we all love to do is race. So it's a lot of fun. We're looking forward to it.
That's what this is all about, having a little bit of fun.
That's right. If you ain't having no fun, you might as well give it up, because it's going to be miserable the rest of your life.
All righty, well, it's about time for him to have some more fun. We got warm-ups, and we'll send it up to the track announcer.
All right, man, let's go. Thanks.
Lap one for Shepherd, 11.982, and that's our fast time thus far, 11.982. And Shepherd coming through the second lap in 11.983. 11.982, the fast time tonight for the All-Star. This time around, Larry White tells them one more time, and we're going green. The Chevrolet Pace Truck heads into the infield as the yellow light goes out. This will be 10 laps. Again on the inside, row number one, the 16 of Bill Robertson as they come out of turn number 4. We're racing. Bill Robertson and Brad Furr early on up front. That is Brad Furr on the outside. He's trying to take over the number 1 spot, and he'll do it successfully. Brad Furr, Bill Robertson, Kenny Jacobs, Gary Wright, Joey Saldana in top 5. Saldana making his move in front of Gary Wright as they come out of turn number 4. That is Brad Furr up front, Bill Robertson, Kenny Jacobs, Joey Saldana, Gary Wright. Again, keep your eye on the 4J of Jeff Shepherd. As they go past the start-finish line, it is Brad Furr holding out of the number 1 spot. Bill Robertson sitting at second. Kenny Jacobs looking to get into second ahead of Bill Robertson, but currently sitting in third. Fourth is Joey Saldana, Gary Wright in fifth, and sixth is the 4J of Jeff Shepherd. As your leaders go through the first turns and onto the backstretch, that's Brad Furr in the 2F now coming out in front of the grandstand. Beginning to pull away from Bill Robertson and Kenny Jacobs. As they work their way through 3 and 4, it is Brad Furr up front, Bill Robertson, Kenny Jacobs, Gary Wright, Joey Saldana, and Jeff Shepherd. Gene Carson in the $12 side, currently in 7th. And the slide move by Kenny Jacobs doesn't work on Bill Robertson with just 2 laps of racing to go. It is Brad Furr up front, Bill Robertson, Kenny Jacobs, Gary Wright, Joey Saldana, and Jeff Shepherd. 1 lap of racing to go for Furr as he's up in front. Bill Robertson's in second. Kenny Jacobs, Gary Wright, Joey Saldana, and Jeff Shepard rounding out the top 7. The checkered flag will fly for Bradford. Bill Robertson, Kenny Jacobs, Gary Wright, Jeff Shepard, and Joey Saldana rounding out the top 7. Shane Carson in the $12 sign up in there as well. But it is the 2F of Bradford coming home, our winner of heat number 1. Bill Robertson holds on for second. Third was Kenny Jacobs. Fourth was the 9W of Gary Wright. Larry Whitell one more time around. Again, sitting on the pole, the number 8 is John Bankston. Outside of John, like Mike mentioned, the U2 of Keith Kaufman. Yellow line is out as they fall in behind John Bankston coming out of 3 and 4. We're back to racing.
The 1A car of Wayne Johnson getting into the wall, but he keeps it going.
That is Keith Kaufman in the U2 up in front. John Bankston holding on to second as they work their way through 1 and 2. The 57 of Jason Johnson sits in third. And as they come out of 3 and 4, Keith Kaufman holds on to the lead. Ahead of the number 8 of John Bankston. Again, sitting third, the 57, Jason Johnson. Fourth is the 8R of Rocky Hodges. Keith Kaufman running away from the pack now in the U2 as he comes out of turn number 4 in front of the grandstand. John Bankston trying to hold off a charging Jason Johnson. Come out of turn 4. Jason Johnson now working his way ever so closely to the 8 of John Bankston. Keith Kaufman up in front in the U2. Holding on to the top 5 positions. That is Keith Kaufman, John Bankston, the 57 of Jason Johnson. The 8R of Rocky Hodges, the 12XX of Danny Smith, and the 1X of Randy Hurricane Hannigan. Just 1 lap of racing to go for Kaufman as he goes by the start-finish line. Again, sitting second, John Bankston. Banks and Jason Johnson racing for second now, but it is Keith Kaufman coming home, your winner. It is Keith Kaufman, your winner of heat number 2 in the U2. Finishing second, and number 8 was John Bankston. Third was the 57 of Jason Johnson. Fourth was the 8R of Rocky Hodges, and finishing 5th in the 12XX was Larry Neighbors on the inside of 2. On the outside of him, and the number 92 is Dean Jacobs, and we're back to racing.
Problems immediately.
The 1BK of Don Drow Jr. upside down in front of turn 1.
Larry Neighbors getting sideways in front of him, and nothing he could do.
And Don Drow Jr. out of the car. Word from the safety crews is that he is fine. That's right. One of the most spectacular was Ed Opp in the 5X out here on one of our Saturday shows, running the 360s. Got into turn number 2, got a little crazy, got upside down, began to cartwheel, and launched himself over the number 2 wall and almost back up into the pits right where the cars are staged right now. That's where he ended up stopping. So that was a very spectacular.
Last week he tried to do it again.
Yeah,
Luckily walked away from that one.
Almost did a ditto. Yellow lights out as we get ready to restart this one. And we're back to racing. Everyone able to get through the front stretch that time. Again up front in the AJ, Scott Jones, your leader. The 23S of Frankie Kerr sitting in second, but now the 92 of Dean Jacobs making a run up front. Dean Jacobs up in front of Frankie Kerr as they come out of 4. Your leader still in the AJ, that is Scott Jones. Dean Jacobs now beginning to close the gap on him. Frankie Kerr sits in 3rd. And 4th in the 66 is Mike Peters. Larry Neighbors in the 29 in sits in 5th as they go through the backstretch into 3 and 4. Your leader's coming out of 4, and that is Scott Jones in the AJ. Dean Jacobs closing the gap. Frankie Kerr sits in 3rd. Mike Peters in the 66 is 4th. Scott Jones, Dean Jacobs 1 and 2. Frankie Kerr sits in 3rd. Mike Peters in the 66 is 4th. As they work their way out of turn 4 through this front stretch. Scott Jones, Dean Jacobs, Frankie Kerr, Mike Peters, and Larry Neighbors are your top 5. Jacobs as they work their way through the backstretch and into 3 and 4. And coming out of 4, your leader, just 1 lap of racing to go. That is Scott Jones. Dean Jacobs now making the pass as they go through 1 and 2, and Dean Jacobs up in front. It's Dean Jacobs through 3 and 4 on the high side of the track, and Jacobs will take heat number 3. Dean Jacobs running very well. Dean Jacobs making a great move through 1 and 2 and taking over as your leader in the number 92. That's Dean Jacobs, your winner of heat number 3. Finishing 2nd in the AJ was Scott Jones. 3rd in the 23S, Frankie Kerr. In 4th in the number 66 was Mike Peters, and 5th the 29N of Larry Neighbors. Logan on the inside of row number 5, the D1. Driven by Dan Oswald.
Keep your eye on Pete Murphy, the 0 car. He was your 4th fast qualifier. And Breezy Scott Whitworth outside of row number 2, and car number 96 is always tough.
Yellow lights out as everybody jumps in behind the 87 of Tim Crowley. He sits on the pole. Outside of him, the 1 of Kevin Gobrecht, and we're back to racing. Tim Crowley and Kevin Gobrecht up in front. And as Mike said, the 0 of Pete Murphy, the man on the move, up into 3rd. Pete Murphy holding down 3rd. Breezy Scott Whitworth in 4th. And 5th in the 7K is Brooke Tendall.
Tendall getting a challenge though from Brian Paulus.
Come out of 3 and 4. Up in front in the 87 is Tim Crowley, but he has problems. Crowley braking, and that allows the 1 of Kevin Gobrecht to get up in front of him. and take over the lead. And we'll see if the 87 of Tim Crowley can get out into the pits. Murphy running well. Kevin Gobrick sitting in second. Third is Breezy Scott Wentworth. Fourth, the 7K, driven by Brooke Tendall. And this time around, just 2 laps of racing to go. It is Pete Murphy, and again a problem. The D1 problems in turn 3 and 4. He gets it fired back up. That is Pete Murphy up front. Kevin Gobrick sitting second, and Pete Murphy will take the checkered flag. Great race for Pete Murphy in the 0, coming from the outside of row number 3. And a little musical chairs going on for my benefit, I believe. Now the 12X of Danny Smith is going to be the pole sitter. Yeah, and again, Brian Paulus on the outside of him with the 28B. They make up row number 1.
They're doing it just to make you look foolish. Not that you need help, but
to say that's an easy thing to do. Yellow lights out. We're all in line now as they come out of turn 3 and into 4. The 12 XX. Danny Smith sets the pace, and we're back to racing. Early on, the 94 of Kenny Jacobs into the wall. Flat right rear tire. That'll end his attempt at a run for this one. Brian Paulus up front. 12 XX of Danny Smith running side by side with Brian Paulus. Jeff Shepard, the fastest car on the track tonight, in third. As the white flag flies for Brian Paulus up front. Danny Smith, Jeff Shepard, 1, 2, 3. The checkered flag will fly for Brian Paulus. Brian, how about we talk a little bit about that last race and about the races coming up? Congratulations. Winning the commercial truck and trailer dash tonight. Well, Brian, I tell you what, it seems like a pretty tacky track tonight, pretty fast. It could be a big horsepower type of race tonight where you're doing a lot of jockeying for positions early on. How are you going to do later on in the features?
We're just going to have to transfer a little bit more weight getting into the corner. We're a little slow up top, and thank God Danny Smith runs a good, clean race, or I wouldn't have been able to get down to the bottom in front of him there.
Well, it was a great race. Who helps out and sponsors the car, Brian?
We have Verdelli Farms and Arnold Transportation on top with Doorways Unlimited, Blazers Auto Body, and Hank's Performance.
And who puts the car together for you and makes it run as well as it's doing tonight?
We just hired a crew chief, Jason Orwick. He's out of Hanover, Pennsylvania. He's been with Bobby Allen for a lot of years.
Well, congratulations again on the dash, and good luck tonight in tonight's feature. Brian Paulus, again, commercial truck and trailer dash champion. Hurricane Hannigan on the inside. Joey Saldana on the outside, making up row number 1. And we have 1 lap before we got underway with tonight's speed feature. Yellow line for this speed feature as they come out of turn 3 and 4. We're back to racing. Caution flag flies early on. Larry White not liking the start of that one. Again, everybody must stay in line until they get out of turn number 4 and see the green flag. Apparently, somebody didn't hold their position as the yellow flag will fly, and we'll try for the restart.
Shake it to the left, you shake it to the right, you do the hippie shake.
One man that's got his work cut out for him is the 1BK of Don Drow Jr. in the Network's Burger King 1BK, and he's at the back of the pack because of the accident to start off his heat race. Got a long way to go to get up to the A as we get ready to get underway with the B. We're back to racing. Hurricane Hannigan up front. Joey Saldana sitting in second, and into the wall is the 87 of Tim Crowley. Crowley able to keep it going, but loses the spot to Brooke Kendall. As they come out of turn number 4, it is the 1X of Randy Hurricane Hannigan. Joey Saldana, Brooke Kendall. The top 3.
Top 4 will go into tonight's A feature. Hannigan, Saldana, the 7K of Brooke Kendall, and the 87 of Tim Crowley are in right now. Shane Carson in the $12 sign on the outside looking in.
One of the bands on the move right now is the 1BK of Don Drow Jr. He's up into 10th as he started at the back of the pack. It is the 1X of Randy Hannigan up front. Joey Saldana sitting second. Brooke Kendall in third, and fourth is the 87 of Tim Crowley. And now Brooke Kendall on the inside of Joey Saldana as they come down the front stretch. It is Brooke Kendall trying to make the pass as they go through turn 2 and onto the backstretch. Kendall will make the pass. Saldana drops back into third, and fourth is the 87 of Tim Crowley. Up in front, Randy Hannigan getting through the lap traffic early on in this one. Sitting second in the 7K, Brooke Kendall.
John Lambert's with problems at the bottom of turn number 1. He jumped over the berm and spun out. It's going to bring out a caution flag. That is really going to help the 1BK of Don Drow Jr. as he is trying to get around the 1A of Wayne Johnson up into 8th place.
There was a lot of damage to the front end of that. I wasn't sure if they were able to just fix that or throw it in a new car. And apparently it's a new car, but we're ready to get underway. As they come out of turn 4, the green flag flies, and we're back to racing. Randy Hannigan up front. Sitting second in the 7K, Brooke Kendall, Joey Saldana, and the 87 of Tim Crowley are top 4. Just 4 laps of racing to go. It is the 1X of Randy Hannigan up front. The man on the bubble in the 87 is Tim Crowley. He sits in 4th as they come out of turn 4 and through the front stretch. Just 2 laps of racing to go.
Problems, car number 3. That is Jason Dukes comes to a stop at the top of turn number 4. Jason Dukes in the 3 car is sitting up at the top of turn 4. Yellow comes out again. We're going to back it up a lap for scoring purposes.
Everybody falls behind the Hurricane Randy Hannigan as he comes through 3 and into 4. Larry White shows them the green, and we're back to racing. Remaining, the 1X of Randy Hannigan up front. Brooke Kendall, Joey Saldana, and the 87 of Tim Crowley are top 4. As they come out of turn number 4, the checkered flag flies for the 1X of Randy Hannigan. Randy Hannigan, Brooke Kendall, Joey Saldana, and Tim Crowley will advance to tonight's A feature from the B feature. Through the play, the A feature for the All-Stars. We're going to champions in the O'Reilly Park. NCRA. Everybody hop up and wave to the drivers as they go by. As the yellow light goes out, 30 laps for this, the A feature, the main event. Saldana ducks into 3 and 4, and we're back to racing. Over at turn 1, Rocky Hodges in the 12 double X of Danny Smith getting turned around. Yellow flag is going to fly. Caution flag flies to avoid the 8R of Rocky Hodges. Joey Saldana, Randy Hannigan, 1 and 2. Jeff Shepard and Pete Murphy making up 3rd and 4th as they come through 3 and 4 and onto the front stretch. We're back to racing. Jeff Shepard making the wholesale pass as he comes out of turn number 4, and Shepard up in front. Jeff Shepard, Joey Saldana, Randy Hannigan, Brian Paulus, and Gary Wright are your top 5 as they work their way through 3 and 4 and into the front stretch. Shepard, Saldana, Hannigan, Paulus, and Wright are your top 5. Pete Murphy in the 0 back into 6th. 7th is the 92 of Dean Jacobs. As your leader goes on to the back stretch, that's Jeff Shepard up in front. Joey Saldana running very high through turn number 2. Right up against the wall as they come out of 4. That is Shepard. Saldana, a problem with the 1 of Kevin Gobrick as he comes to stop on the infield, just on the inside of 1. Kevin Gobrick having problems on the inside of turn 1. Hannigan in the 1X sits in 3rd. Gary Wright in the number 9 in 4th. And Brian Paulus in the 28P in 5th.
Buddy catch the 4J car of Jeff Shepard.
Shepard, of course, the fastest car on the track during time trial. Yellow lights out as we get ready for the restart. Shepard leads the pack through 3 and 4 and out onto the front stretch, and we're back to racing. The 28P all the way up into 3rd on the restart. That is Jeff Shepard, Joey Saldana, Randy Hannigan able to try to negotiate back Brian Powers tries to take the spot away, and he'll get back up in front of him. It is Jeff Shepard, Joey Saldana, Brian Powers, Randy Hannigan, Gary Wright. Pete Murphy and Dean Jacobs battling it out now for 6 and 7. Your leader running away with this one as he goes through the backstretch through 3 and 4. And coming out of turn number 4 now, that is Jeff Shepard. Sitting second, Joey Saldana. Third is the 1X of Randy Hannigan, and upside down in turn number 1 and 2.
Mike Peters is involved in car number 66, the 8, which is John Bankston as well. I cannot tell who is upside down right now.
To come through 3 and 4, everybody behind Jeff Shepard in the 4J. Coming out of 4, we are racing. Joey Saldana early on going to make the pass. He's up in front. Brian Paulus also going with him. It is Joey Saldana, Brian Paulus. Jeff Shepard now trying to regain the number 2 spot as he works his way through turn number 2. Way up into the turn 2 as most of the drivers are running up on the cushion. It is Joey Saldana up front, Jeff Shepard sitting second, Brian Paulus third. Fourth is Gary Wright, and Gary Wright moves up into third. Some of the cars making crucial changes during the red light. And now the man up front is Joey Saldana sitting second. Jeff Shepard third, Gary Wright, and Gary Wright is on the move. Come out of turn 4, it is Saldana, Shepard, Wright, Murphy, and Paulus. That is your top 4. Randy Hannigan in the 1X has moved up into 5th. At the halfway point, it is Joey Saldana, Jeff Shepard, Gary Wright, Pete Murphy, and Randy Hannigan. Now Saldana coming through 3 and 4. Shepard trying to go on the low side. Saldana, Shepard, 1 and 2 through the backstretch. Joey Saldana, Jeff Shepard, now Shepard tries to make the pass. As they work their way through 1 and 2, it's Saldana and Shepard. On the backstretch they go. 3-car length separate Saldana and the 4J of Jeff Shepard. Coming out of turn number 4, they close the gap. Just a car length between Shepard and Saldana. Saldana goes on the high side, Shepard down low, and Shepard loses ground on Joey Saldana. Gary Wright closing the gap up into third in the number 9W. And as they work their way through turns 1 and 2, it is Joey Saldana, Jeff Shepard, Gary Wright, and the number 8 of John Bankston. Go through 1 and 2. That's Joey Saldana and Jeff Shepard. Sitting in third is Gary Wright. Saldana up on the high side. Jeff Shepard down in the low side. Now they're both high through 1 and 2. That's Saldana and Shepard. Shepard getting into the wall. Jeff Shepard hitting the wall in 2. That allows the gap to be closed between himself and Gary Wright. Saldana, your leader. Shepard holding on to second. Gary Wright third. And Shepard makes it through 2 without getting into the wall that time. Saldana up front, holding on to the number 1 spot. Jeff Shepard sitting second. Third is Gary Wright. Saldana, Shepard, and Wright. 1, 2, 3 as they come through 3 and 4. Joey Saldana looks as though he's going to try to hold off Shepard as Shepard goes on the low side. Saldana up high. Saldana close to the wall. Shepard able to hold on to his, closing the gap between himself and Saldana. And now Shepard makes the pass on Saldana as they go through 1 and 2. Jeff Shepard up in front. Joey Saldana sits in second. This time around, there'll be just 4 laps of racing to go. It is Shepard, Saldana, Gary Wright, and Pete Murphy. That is your top 4 as they go through the backstretch. Jeff Shepard beginning to increase his lead over Saldana as they work their way through lap traffic. It is Shepard, Saldana, Gary Wright, and Pete Murphy. Gary Wright all the way inside the berm through 1 and 2. This time around, just 2 laps of racing to go for the 4J of Jeff Shepard. Shepard, Saldana, Gary Wright, and Pete Murphy. And Pete Murphy spinning in turns 1 and 2. He keeps it going, and we're going to stay green. 1 lap of racing to go for the 4J of Jeff Shepard. Shepard through the backstretch. And as he comes through 3 and 4 on the low side, the checkered flag will fly for Jeff Shepard.
Coming home second is Joey Saldana, Gary Wright third, the 1XO Randy Hannigan fourth. Gene Jacobs comes in fifth, and Brian Paul is sixth. Pete Murphy, after spinning in 1 and 2, will get 7th. That will conclude tonight's racing action at the Park Place Eagle Raceway. We want to thank each and every one of you for coming out for the opening night of the Thunder Through the Plains Series. A big thanks to the All-Stars Circuit of Champions and the O'Reilly Auto Parts NCRA Outlaws. You are more than welcome to go over to the pits and talk to the drivers and check out the cars following the races. If you do so, please be cautious, as the cars and the tires will be very, very hot.
First of all, congratulations coming home the A feature winner tonight in the first stop of the Thunder Through the Plains here at the Park Place Eagle Raceway. Hey, I tell you what, on the restart, it looked a little scary out there. You had a couple of guys get up in front of you. You had the fast car tonight with 20 laps remaining. What happened on the restart? Were you just a little slow on the accelerator there, or did they get just a great jump on you?
Nah, the biggest deal was they were pointing to the cone. They didn't want us to jump, so I got to the cone a little slower than the first restart that I got there when I took the lead. But when I went down into 1, I was talking to my mechanic. It looked like there was a little bit of moisture right there from the middle out of 2, and I tried to just roll in there real nice, pick the moisture up and get off the corner, but that moisture wasn't moisture. That moisture was like dust or sand off the bottom from them guys' left front tire going through 1 and 2, dragging it over that hump. And I went down in there and it was just dead, and those guys got around me, so that just made me drive harder.
You had quite a bit of a rough ride tonight. Coming through 2, you got into the wall a little bit, got you a little sideways, you had to regroup a little bit, and you had to come back from that, and then making the move through 3 and 4, you looked like you were running high. You were going to follow Saldana all the way up through the high side, and you decided to go low through 3 and 4. What made you go on the low side of 3 and 4?
You can never really pass anybody if you follow them, and I followed him down into the corner, and I was good down on the bottom the whole night. And then after the red, my crew, they did some work on the car and stuff. And I just went back to the bottom, and the bottom was working good. Then in lap traffic, those lap cars, they get down there, then they slide up out of your way, and you just drive underneath them.
Now, is it hard to run a track where you've got 2 different lines to run? 1 and 2 was high, and down low in 3 and 4, you were able to work it. Is that a harder way to drive, or is that beneficial for a driver like yourself?
Well, it's a harder way to drive because 1 and 2, you got to go as fast as you can on entry, because if you hit the curb off the gas, you're going to go in the wall like I did that time when I caught that mound of dirt and almost went straight into the fence on the opening back there. And then 3 and 4, you got to run down there and kind of finesse the deal around so you don't slide off the bottom. So it's just a timing thing, and experience pays off on a track like this when you need to do that stuff.
Well, congratulations. You had the fast car tonight, and you were the one who came out on top. Our A feature winner tonight is Jeff Shepard. Congratulations.
I'd like to thank all my crew and the guys working on my car, and then I'd like to also thank God for keeping everybody safe and stuff. And I got to thank all my sponsors, everybody that's here helping us out, and the fans for coming.
Last night, the winner at Eagle Raceway, the driver of the 4J, Jeff Shepard. Welcome to Belleville.
Glad to be here.
You put on a show last night, banging off walls, let Saldana think he was going to do something, and then you came back and snookered him.
Yeah, that was something else. I tried something a little different on a restart, and it just didn't work right. But I tried to run the bottom, see if there was any moisture down there, because I was running the bottom down there in 3 and 4, and I was good. So my mechanic said under the red, try something on the restart, and it didn't work, and he got around me, and momentum anyway. But then once I got going back again, I knew I was better than him on the top in 1 and 2, then I was definitely better in 3 and 4. So just a matter of getting up to lap traffic and getting through the cars and stuff, and I guess we were the first guy to make it through lap cars.
You were fast time last night. Is this the same car you were running in Knoxville?
Yeah, everything here is the same except the engine. We changed the engine before last night because we have a motor deal when the guy wants us to run his motor on the big shows, and so we had to change it to run this whole week, and the motor we put in for this week's no slouch.
Oh, that's good to know. What do you think about Belleville?
Well, I've been here twice already. I did it 2 years in a row. I missed last year, but I did the first 2 years of this deal in the 1W car, and we won the first time we were here, and the second time I run second, so I think we should be all right.
I'm standing with the driver of the Mach 17, Joey Saldana. It's hot, Joey.
Oh, it's real hot. I just hope they put enough water on the track to make a good race for the fans.
Last night you had a pretty good show going on, and then that Shepherd guy.
Well, I knew Shepherd was going to be fast. He had fast time, and we got the lead there early, and then he passed me, and on the restart he went to the middle, and I just drove around him, and I was looking pretty good till I got up to a couple lap cars, and I just chose the wrong line, and Shepherd got by me with like 4 to go, and that was the end of that deal. Run second, and hopefully we can beat him tonight.
I was going to say, tonight's a whole different ball game. Have you ever been to Belleville before?
Yeah, I've been here twice, and one time it laid rubber and you couldn't pass, and then last year it was real wet and you couldn't pass, so maybe it'd be a little slicker and you see a lot more slide jobs and stuff like you do at Eldora. Maybe it'd be different for the fans. I don't know if they've seen anything like Eldora here, and this place has the potential to be like that, so who knows.
Well, he hopes he sees a good track. I hope I see a good track. It's time to get heat in the motors. Thanks, Joey.
Thanks a lot.
Thanks, Joey.
I'm standing with the guy who won here last year, the driver of the U2, Keith Kaufman. Welcome to Belleville.
It's hot too.
Tell me.
Yeah, it's good to be here. We had a good run last year. Started up front and ended up winning the race. It's a big, fast place, so it's kind of tough passing here, but if you get a front row starting spot, it helps a bunch.
How's the year been going for you?
Well, we haven't had that good a year. You know, we've kind of been struggling. We've had a bunch of top fives, only won one race, but it's been a tough year.
Speaking of tough times, we were all at the Nationals. A little bit of misfortune there at the start of that heat?
Yeah, a little bit. I guess the red flag came out, and the guy in front of me, he decided to stop and turn left in the pits, and I couldn't do anything. These cars won't turn right when you're going sideways, so I ended up bumping them and having a flat tire and backed into the seat, so that was it for us.
Well, sometimes that stuff happens. We're at Belleville. You won here last time. I think you're going to win again.
Well, I hope so. We'll try.
All righty. Thanks a lot, Keith.
Okay, thanks.
The driver of the 1X from San Jose, California. They call you the Hurricane, Randy Hannigan. Welcome to Belleville.
Oh, it's good to be here. It's my first time here.
What does this remind you of at home? I'm not really sure what all tracks you run out there, but it's got to look like something.
No, it don't look like anything we have at home, but yeah, I guess this place looks like Eldora, if anything, but at home we don't have nothing like this, so you know, I'm anxious to get on it.
We heard you talking to the track announcer last night. It's really nice of you to come around and run with us on your way back from the Nationals.
Yeah, it is. First time running with the All-Stars and NCRA, and so far it's been a pleasure. Everybody treats you really good and makes you feel a part of it, and you know, we're just looking forward to doing good here. We run decent last night, run fourth, and see if we can improve our spot tonight.
Never being at a track like this before, how do you prepare the car to go into something like this?
You just do a basic setup. We just call it our basic deal, and we run it everywhere, so you know, we'll come here with it and try it, and then you know, if the driver does his job right, he can tell what's wrong and maybe get it fixed.
All righty, well, we'll keep an eye on your warm-ups and see how close you were.
All right, thanks a lot.
Thank you.
It's going to be interesting tonight. The heat races, they'll be unpredictable. We won't know exactly just who's going to come off the front row or who's charging off the back. I know, you know, Gary Wright's probably not going to want to start a heat race from the back, but I'd like to see him charge from the back here. I think that adds a new aspect to it, which I've never seen. So a lot of neat things. Again, if this is your first visit to the high bank, sit back because you're going to see some racing.
Right now, running for the All-Star Circuit of Champions, the number 94 from Holmesville, Ohio. This is Kenny Jacobs, and he's flying. First time around for Kenny Jacobs. A 14.683. Quick time, 14.683. Second time for Kenny Jacobs, a 14.568. 14.568.
Side by side, wheel to wheel, and wing to wing down the back straightaway as the official all-star pace truck, the Chevy Silverado, heads into the infield. Up in the starter's tower, Mr. Excitement, Bob Billups looking the field over, hoping to get a good start this time around. Look at the white line in the number 4 turn. That's when they're going to mash the gas, getting ready to rumble. Into the number 4 turn, here they come, here we go! And now the back straightaway in the YouTube, and the caution coming back on the speedway. Caution on the speedway, I'm going to guess a false start on that one. Caution on the speedway. I'm going to guess a false start as they will take and try to get this one just a little bit more even out of the number 4 turn. Guys mashing on the gas before they hit the white line. Now, as I understand it, if the guys up front fail this time around to be able to get a good clean start, there is the possibility that Rick Nichols has the opportunity to be able to take and move them back one row and bring row number 2 up to the front. So the guy's going to be a little bit more careful this time around the big half mile to make sure that they get a nice start, because everybody wants to be able to start up front, to be able to be one of the top 6 cars out of our first heat race to be able to qualify into the feature event. 8 times around, Keith Kalpin up on the pole position as they head into the number 4 turn. Mr. Excitement, Bob Billups, one more time looking for a good start into the number 4 turn. Green flag flies, here we go! Side down the back straightaway, Keith Kalpin, Brian Paulus racing for the top spot into the number 3 turn. It'll be Kalpin out in front as they exit turn number 4 down the front straightaway. Brad Bird sitting in the 3rd place spot right now as Paulus comes up to challenge Kalpin down the back straightaway. Brad Bird in a 2F car holding on to the 3rd place spot with the Keith Kalpin U2 out in front. Kenny Jacobs back for 4th and 5th as Kenny Jacobs makes his move into the 3rd place spot, trying to get by Brad Bjorn for the 3rd position into the number 4 turn. Keith Kalpin out of Mifflintown, Pennsylvania, your current leader with Brian Paulus holding on to 2nd. The number 94, Kenny Jacobs, sits in 3rd, followed by Brad Bjorn in 4th. Watch the 4J of Jeff Shepard trying to move up. He is on the bubble right now. The 4J of Jeff Shepard, the final car into the A feature at this point. The 29 out of Larry Neighbors charging hard as Keith Kalpin lays the way around the big half mile. 28 Brian Paulus, then it's Brad Bird. On the move, Jeff Shepard bringing him into the 4th place spot as Kenny Jacobs and D. Jacobs battle back for 5th and 6th. White flag coming out, 1 lap to go. White flag out, 1 lap remaining. Checkered flag set to come out this time around as they head out of the number 4 turn. It'll be the U2, Keith Kalpin, 28 Brian Paulus, the 94 Kenny Jacobs, 4J Jeff Shepard, 92 Dean Jacobs. And so unofficially, your top 6 cars that get a chance to transfer on into the A feature tonight. In 6th position, the 2F car out of Dublin, California, the 2F of Brad Furr. Then we move on to number 5, the 5th place spot going out to the number 92 out of Worcester, Ohio, Dean Jacobs. 4th place spot going to go to the 4J car, last night's feature winner out of Upper Combe, Maryland, Jeff Shepard. In third spot in the number 94 car, he's out of Holmesville, Ohio, Kenny Jacobs. Your runner-up tonight drives the number 28 machine out of Mechanicsburg, Pennsylvania, Brian Paulus. And race fans, let's put our hands together for your winner. He drives the express line, U2. He's out of Mifflintown, Pennsylvania, Mr. Keith Kaufman.
As they come by, wave at them, wish them good luck as we fire off NCRA All-Star Heat Race number 2. Our pace vehicles have checked to the infield. They wanted no part of this action. The Trop Arctic 66 of Mike Peters will set the pace to the white line in turn 4. Rocky Hodges on his outside shoulder. It's showtime! Here we go. Mike Peters sets the early pace. And yellow light comes back out. Official starter Bob Billups says, hey guys, we've got to be square when we hit that white line in turn 4.
Well, and of course, you want to take and protect the guys and their equipment anytime that you end up taking and having a restart. That's, of course, the reasoning behind it. But it looks like the caution light's out, buddy. It's time for a little thunder and lightning.
Oh, man, buckle in. Mike Peters, Rocky Hodges, our lightning fast front row. Bob Billups says, yeah! Here we go. It's Mike Peters looking to the outside. Rocky Hodges. Kevin Gobrak charges in third. Rocky Hodges, our race leader after 2. Gobrak looks to the inside of Peters. Kevin Gobrak looks to the inside in turn 4. Mike Peters trying to keep up with him. Gobrak will take over second. Gary Wright rounds out the top 4. Oh, the rocket. Joey Saldana rounds out the good top 5. Our race leader, Rocky Hodges. Gary Wright, inside move, takes over third from Mike Peters. White flag, one more time. Kevin Gobrak runs second. Here's your winner down the stretch, Rocky Hodges. Oh man, Greenville, Indiana hot shoe, Rocky Hodges. Had the gas to the floor as he comes by. Let's congratulate him, your winner. Kevin Gobrak unofficially second. Gary Wright of Hooks, Texas, third in the 9. Mike Peters fourth in the 66. And Joey Saldana, the Indiana racer from Brownsburg, rounds out the unofficial top 5. And boy, Dave, hold your breath as they start hitting the cushion up there in turn 3.
Gentlemen, one more time around, and we are going to get ready to go racing. One of the guys, if you ask my opinion, to watch for in this one, the 7K car, Brooke Tatnell. Ended up timing it pretty doggone quick. Ends up taking a liking the big half mile. And he may be moving to the front. Starts on the outside, row number 3. As they gear him up into the number 4 turn, here they come down the front straightaway. Green flag flying. We are going Raceback. The number 3 and Jason Dukes leads the way, but the caution will come out. Caution on the speedway. Once again, to know how important heat races are, all you have to do is look back on the last 2 heat races as well as this one. Everybody itching for the throttle as quick as they possibly can, trying to get the jump. Just realize one thing, folks, you're not seeing double vision. There are 2X and double X cars, so try to keep track. I know it's hard to be able to do when they come flying by. Into the number 4 turn, green flag fly. Belleville takes it down the back straightaway. Here comes the number 3 car, Jason Dukes to the outside. Jason Dukes trying for the lead into the number 3 and 4 turns out of the front straightaway. It'll be Jason Dukes. The 1X machine, Randy Hurricane Hennigan trying to take a move into the second spot, side by side with Billy Bielauer for the second position. The 7K Brooke Tatnell right the high line. As right now the 6th place position. Brooke Tatnell looks to the inside of Hurricane Hennigan into the number 4 turn. Finished the number 8 car of John Bankston. John Bankston, your final transfer car out of heat race number 3 right now. As the number 3 Ultra Brand, Jason Dukes out of Eunice, Louisiana, holding on to the top spot. 9X Rich Newback retiring onto the back straightaway as the number 3 machine of Jason Dukes out of Eunice, Louisiana, leads the charge on Billy Bielauer. 7K, Brooke Tatnell holding on to the 3rd spot. There goes Danny Smith around as Danny Smith picks into the 4th place position. 5th place spot being held down by the number 1X car, Randy Hennigan. And it's the number 8 of John Bankston. White flag coming out this time around. 1 lap to go. Leading the way down the back straightaway right now. Checkered flag will be coming out to the number 3 of Jason Dukes. Billy Bielauer, Brooke Tatnell, then the 12X to work Danny Smith. Well, they make quick work of heat race number 3. Unofficially finishing in the final transfer spot. That's the 6th place position. The number 8 car out of Beaumont, Texas, John Bankston. 5th spot, the 1X car out of San Jose, California. It'll be Mr. Randy Hennigan. In the 4th spot, the 12 double X car out of Danville, Indiana, Danny Smith. 3rd spot going to the 7K out of San Souci, New South Wales, Australia, Brooke Tatnell. Your runner-up, the 12X car of Billy Bielauer. And race fans, put your hands together, being ultra fast at heat race number 3 out of Eunice, Louisiana, the number 3 car, Mr. Jason Dukes. As we get ready to go one more time with our commercial truck and trailer dash as Danny Smith rejoins the field. And into the number 3 turn they go, side by side, wheel to wheel, wing to wing, getting ready to hit the white line in the number 4 turn. Into the number 4, hitting on the gas, the green flag flying, we're going racing. Kenny Jacobs leads the way down the back straightaway, the 4 Jeff Shepard running right behind him. As they head into the number 4 turns, it'll be Kenny Jacobs trying to hold on to the late lap number 1. Down on the inside, Jeff Shepard running into the 2nd position. As it'll be the number 94, Kenny Jacobs, the Kurt Allstar point leader leading the way. So Frank Icker holding on to the 4th place spot. As it'll be 94, Kenny Jacobs looking at a white flag this time around. 1 lap to go. Less than a half lap to go for the number 94 as the checkered flag will come out this time around. To the 94 of Mr. Kenny Jacobs. Jeff Shepard in second. Kevin Gobrecht in third. And so your top 3, the number 1 of Kevin Gobrecht picking up the 3rd spot. The 4G, Jeff Shepard in second. And race fans, put your hands together for your winner. He drives the number 94 car. He's out of Holmesville, Ohio, Mr. Kenny Jacobs.
Winner here tonight, Mr. Kenny Jacobs. We get our trophy girl over here. Kenny, real quickly, come on in here, dear heart. I know he'd rather stand by you than me. Kenny, real quickly, let you take the pictures, then we're going to get a quick word with him out here as our, commercial truck and trailer dash winner down here right now, race fans. One more time, Mr. Kenny Jacobs. Kenny, first off, congratulations, the dash winner tonight here, as well as quick time, fella, and that means something when you guys bring these power plants here to the high banks of Belleville.
Well, I'll tell you, you gotta give most of the credit to the motor on this thing. This Bob Kreiner engine's just really hit, and we got a good race car. J&J car works real good on the big race tracks, and the guys, after the heat race, we come in and changed a few things because I didn't feel like I was perfect in the heat race, and we changed 3 or 4 things in the car, and right now the car is pretty darn good.
Let's talk about this team real quickly, Kenny. The first year out for you and Tim Hughes, the car owner, the team, it seems to be coming together.
Yeah, the Tim Hughes wheel and axle car, the whole team was a pretty good team when I got there, and I added Barry Jackson and myself to the team, and or Tim Hughes added us to the team, I should say. So, and Todd Palmer and Big Frank Thompson and Greg Hughes, Tim's son, they all work pretty good together, and they got this car pretty fast. It's been a real consistent race car for me, and this place has bitten me. I've won other races here, but I've never won the feature, so maybe tonight we can turn around and win the feature here.
And of course, you're coming in here as the point leader on the All-Star Circuit. Good campaign so far.
Yeah, we need to thank the Commercial Truck and Trailer for having this dash, United Express line, for all the help that they do for the All-Stars, and the All-Stars themselves. If it wasn't for them, we'd have to be running World of Outlaws, and a lot of these teams can't afford to run the World of Outlaws, or they all would. So if it wasn't for the All-Stars, United Express line, we wouldn't have nowhere to race.
Here he is, ladies and gentlemen, one more time at Holmesville, Ohio, Mr. Kenny Jacobs.
And Jason Statler back out in the 00. Official starter Bob Phillips says, start getting lined up, guys. Yellow light is out. Pace vehicles, all 3 of them, check to the infield. Bill Robertson, the Nebraska racer, is our pace setter. The white line in turn 4. Here they come in. Showtime! Here we go. Larry Neighbors looking to the outside. Red flag out. Car takes a tumble over on the back stretch.
We're back here with Dan Asaric, man. He sits kind of laying on the side back here. Just kind of took really an easy roll. Got into the wall a little bit, just coming out of turn number 2, and hooked the wall just a little bit.
Thanks, Dennis, for the report. Let's get ready for B-Main action. United Express line, All-Star, NCRA shootout. Bill Robertson, our pace setter. He takes us to the white line, and here we go. Once again, Larry Neighbors will grab the early lead. Bill Robertson second. Whitworth. Shane Carson rounds out the top 5. Brian Smith in the 2H. Jason Johnson in the 57 checks to the infield over on the backstretch. Jason Statler, they battle for the last transfer spot. Larry Neighbors, our leader. Bill Robertson second, Scott Whitworth third, Shane Carson fourth, Brian Smith fifth. Round out the top 6. White flag on board 9. Express Line B main from Oklahoma City, the Neighbors Executive Coffee Machine. Larry Neighbors unofficially second, the 96. Scott Whitworth third, the 16. Nebraska racer Bill Robertson fourth, the $12 sign. Oklahoman Shane Carson unofficially fifth. Brian Smith from Fremont, Ohio, rounding out the top 6. And that last transfer spot to the A main from San Jose, California, Jason Statler.
4 wide, 6 rows deep by the time they get done. As they head down the back straightaway, folks, let's everybody stand this time around. This is your Thunder Through the Plains NCRA versus All-Star A feature event. Going in to salute you, the fans of the famed Belleville High Banks. Thanking you for coming out and giving them the support. As they head into the number 4 turns, we hope that you'll put your arms in the air. They can't hear you, but they can sure see if you put your arms in the air. Let's give them that great big Belleville High Banks wave. This is your All-Star NCRA feature event on parade. Mr. Excitement Bob Phillips says, gentlemen, one more time around the half mile before we get ready to turn you loose for 25 laps of heart-pounding excitement as they get ready to rumble.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the main event.
Getting ready to rumble on a beautiful night here at the famed Belleville High Banks. Jeff Shepard and Brooks Tatnell up on the pole positions on the front row. Watch the white line. Here they go. Showtime! And down the back straightaway. Action abounding right off the bat. Shepard brings him out of the number 4 turn. Green flag waving. Gary Wright into the second place spot. Brooke Tandell. And the 94 of Kenny Jacobs. The number 1 of Kevin Dobrak. And then Shepard out in front of Gary Wright. Gary Wright in the second place spot. Brooke Tandell in third. Fast speed as Jeff Shepard leads the way. Gary Wright in second, Brooke Tandell in third. Then it's going to be Kenny Jacobs. A great run going on as Jeff Shepard tries to win 2 in a row. Gary Wright trying to pull out the stop. Straight in down the back straightaway as they'll start to encounter some lap traffic momentarily. Gary Wright out of Buck, Texas, trying to track down the 4 Jeff Shepard. Running the high line around the half mile here at the Belleville Highway. 7K, Brooke Tandell, the 94 of Kenny Jacobs, the 12 double X of Danny Smith. Trying to take a dip, he might be able to close the gap on the 4 Jeff Shepard. Left flipping down. Number 1 of Kevin Dobrak sitting in the 6th place spot right now. As the 4J continuing to lead the way. Shepard, the number 9 of Wright. Wright trying to close the gap on him. Close one's got a couple car lengths. And now the 4J gets held up. Shepard gets held up just a little bit as Wright tries to take it to a car. Gary Wright pulls from the gap down the back straightaway. Wright coming up on the inside as he tries for the lead. Gary Wright down to the inside out of the number 4 turn. Gary Wright side by side. Take a good shot of 4J of Jeff Shepard. Brooke Tandell and Kenny Jacobs running right behind him. In the 5th place spot, the front row legs of Danny Smith. Encountering some more lap traffic. Here comes Shepard and the 4J trying to make it 2 in a row. The number 9, Gary Wright, trying as best he can to keep front of the bumper on the 4J. As Shepard uses the low line around. Gary Wright comes to the inside. Gary Wright takes the lead down the back straightaway. Gary Wright out in front. The number 9 of Gary Wright moving out in front of the 4J. Texas native Gary Wright out in front of Jeff Shepard and the 4J. Brooke Tandell setting at the 3rd place spot. That is the 94 of Kenny Jacobs as Wright leads the charge. The NCRA 5-time champion trying to be able to take and pick up a $4,000 win tonight here at the Belleville Highway. Kenny Jacobs, then the number 1 of Kevin Dobrak sitting at 5th. As Gary Wright running a big half mile up on the top side. Down the back straightaway one more time. It will be the number 9 of Gary Wright, the 4J of Jeff Shepard, the 7X Dennis, the 94 of Kenny Jacobs coming up the battle. Jacobs on the move. Kenny Jacobs moving up into the 3rd spot to challenge. Gary Wright out of Orange, Texas, leading the way in the feature event here at the Belleville Highway. 4J Jeff Shepard, the 7K Brooke Tandell, the 94 of Kenny Jacobs, the 1 of Kevin Dobrak.
Wright hopes to pick up a feature win and score one for NCRA. Continues to take a ride the high groove around the half mile of the Belleville Highway. One more time and down the back straightaway goes right into the number 3 turn. The 4J of Jeff Shepard in second, the 7K. Brooke Tandell, the 94 of Kenny Jacob, and the number 1, Kevin Goldberg. Whoa! The 94! 94, Kenny Jacobs and number 8. Red flag out, Kenny Jacobs. Kenny Jacobs over in the number 2 turn. Kenny Jacobs, the number 94, over in number 2 turn as he got up against the wall in the number 1 as he was dueling with the 7K of Brooke Tandell.
Well, down here with the number 3, they're getting ready to turn him back over, and they're working on the driver down here talking to him. He is talking to him, and let's see what's going on with the other car here real quick. Well, driver out of the number 94 over here as we roll it back over. Kenny Jacobs, nowhere to be found actually down here. Car pretty much... well, it's not really destroyed that much. It's just a lot of oil leaked out of it and stuff. And the front end of the Nerf bar knocked off the back. And that's pretty much top wing destroyed. And we'll see what happened. The other driver out down here also of the number 3 car.
Well, of course, we still, from what I'm able to understand, 22 laps down, 3 laps to go. So it's kind of less than even at a dash at this point. Gary Wright out of Hooks, Texas, trying to score one tonight for the O'Reilly Auto Parts NCRA Outlaw Sprint Car Series. Of course, last night, Jeff Shepard scores one for the All-Stars. Lap cars, of course, into their position on the last go-round. Ended up having the 16 car. Bill Robertson that Gary Wright had gotten by. Wright has the opportunity to be able to take and bring him out of the number 4 turn and get him out by the cone and then start racing. No passing before they get to the cone. As Wright in the number 9 has 3 laps to go. Out of the number 4 turn. Here we go. And back into action. The number 9 of Gary Wright from Hooks, Texas, trying to take and pick up a win. And so, just in the blink of an eye, 3 laps pass. The checkered flag is thrown as your top 3, finishing unofficially in 3rd spot, the 7K, Brooke Tandell. 3rd spot, the 7J of Jeff Shepard. And race fans, put your hands together for your winner, scoring one for the O'Reilly Auto Parts NCRA Outlaw Sprint Car Series. Out of Hooks, Texas, the 5-time champion, Mr. Gary Wright. Mickey, well, let him hear it out here, Mr. Gary Wright, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, sir. As he comes out, gets a handshake from All-Stars Competition Director, Rick Nichols. Down here into Victory Lane, real quick, we'll get a word with Gary Wright. Gary, tell you what, fella, what a place to put on a demonstration of power with your engine builders just a couple of 100 miles away. Well, not even that far, a couple miles away, actually.
68 miles away, and I tell you, this is a brand new engine's bullet. And I'm going to tell you what, I've never been able to run like this at Belleville. Here you need every bit of motor you can get, and this baby will run.
Talk to me about that pass in lap traffic. That was wild back there.
Well, you know, Jeff was on the top. Really, the only place I feel like I was going to get him was in lap traffic, and I saw the opportunity. The car stuck, no motor pull, good out of the turn, and there we went.
Lap traffic on this track, though, has got to keep everybody on the edge of their seat.
Well, actually, you know, tonight we lapped some cars pretty quick, but you know, they stayed right in the line they were running. Which here, if you run all over the track, it's a bad deal. So it worked out great.
Congratulations tonight. Gary Wright down here in Victory Lane. We get our young lady up here to present the trophy, and on the second night of Thunder Through the Plains, the All-Star Circuit of Champions of the National Championship Racing Association Outlaw Sprint Car Series, as Gary Wright now makes his way back down here to the home of the number 9. You know, you don't see a lot of sponsorships on this car, race fans, because this guy is still actively seeking some sponsorship money for the number 9 out of Hooks, Texas, the Texan. One more time, let him hear it out here, Mr. Belleville, all the way from Mr. Hooks, Texas, Gary Wright.